Josh, stop. We don't want to get sued on our first episode. Come on, man.
Right.
All right. Welcome to the Broken Spectrum, everyone. I'm your host, Zach, and this is my co-host, Josh.
What's up?
So today we're going to be delving into one of our favorite game franchises of all time.
God, it's so majestic.
And it is Halo. It's a wonderful, wonderful game. And if you haven't played it, then you've been living under a rock since 2001. If you don't like it, then you're probably a PlayStation 2 user.
And you're just wrong.
And you're wrong. But that's our opinion, of course. And we love everyone all the same.
It's just like the opinion that people think that the DCEU Justice League movie is good. And they're wrong.
When it's really dark. I mean, no, you really can't see anything.
It's true. That's really sad. And the opinion that Batman vs. Superman is good is also wrong. But you're entitled to it, and that's fine. And I love Batman. So this is not no DC hate. I actually like it more than the Marvel Universe.
Which, not to distract from our topic,
right.
But I think we all know that, I think even the DC fans know that Superman is like their scapegoat player. Even if you kill him, quote unquote, that it's still, he's the scapegoat character.
Yeah, even down to that's what's this new, oh god. Why Jeff Johns? I like your stuff, Jeff Johns, and I know that this new Watchmen series with the new Rorschach and all these characters is supposed to be the magnum opus of Jeff Johns, but down to a Superman versus Dr. Manhattan fight, I probably would have saw that coming. And if it's written well and it's exciting, then okay, I'm game. But really, it's really become that. Superman has become the scapegoat.
It really has, which is sad. And he always comes up with the new powers. How many powers can one Kryptonian have? But I digress, of course. But by the way, before we get started, a little news for everyone out there. If you have not seen Avengers Endgame, what are you doing? You're missing out on a great movie and a finisher to the Marvel Cinematic Universe for that group of Avengers, of course. But no spoilers, of course. But they are re-releasing the movie to include a Stan Lee tribute. Did you know that?
Yeah, I just found out when you told me 10 seconds ago before we started recording. No, my buddy Ozzy actually told me yesterday, which makes me sad because shout out Ozzy, you're my buddy and all, but he's always late to the party. And so if he was late to the party, probably to this news, then I was double late to the party, and that's just not okay. But yeah, I'm very excited to see it again. Alyssa, who is my one and only, is not excited to be dragged to see it again.
Oh, but you got to see that. It's for Stan Lee, man.
She doesn't care. They literally, her and her friend literally had a conversation about how they hate Star Wars.
Oh, that hurts the soul.
And Boba Fett is the best character that was ever written on screen. And
wait a minute, hold on. I don't think she said that. I think you slipped that in there.
Which is sad because he did really have a chump's death, hypothetical death, because he may not really be dead. Schrodinger's Boba Fett, but nonetheless, she needs to go see it. I'm gonna try and break her arm to go see it, figuratively,
of course, because we
and literally.
don't want to go down to that rabbit hole. But anyway, no, I would probably go pay money to see it again. I mean, so many other people went to go see it 3 or 4 times. What's one more, right?
Kevin Smith was on a roll. Kevin, yeah, I was listening to his podcast, and he was like, I think by the 3rd week it was already out. He's like, yeah, I've already seen it 4 times. I was like, Jesus.
4 times.
Maybe it was 3. I'm exaggerating probably.
But either way, you better be going in the middle of the day matinee prices, because let's be honest.
And he lives in California, obviously. Well, not obviously, because your boy Kevin Smith is from New Jersey, just like your boy here. But he lives in California now, obviously, because he's a director and he does his podcasts and stuff. And I mean, those ticket prices in California have to be astronomical, right?
They're astronomical here. I mean, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I mean, the price of living, I'm sure in
Wherever
California
we
is
are.
a lot higher.
Ooh.
But mysterious.
But yeah. So in California, he's.
But I mean, come on. When you're
expensive.
when you think about it, when you're really paying about $30 or $40 per, so two people can go see a movie, and then you're paying an additional $21.35. And yes, I did remember the amount for a large popcorn and 2 sodas, and that's it. That's buying souvenirs at Disney World. Honestly, that's souvenirs alone. I'm just saying. I'm specifying, of course.
Yeah. Well, someone's gonna total up that whole thing. The 21. What was it? 2153.
21.53.35, whatever the case.
Whatever it was, they're gonna literally. Sorry, if we ever become this famous and important, I bet you they're gonna listen to that information. They're gonna like cross sectionally like find that data and like compare it and all that stuff to find out which theater we went to and figure out where we live.
You think so? Or think so? You think we...
Calm down, Mike Tyson.
I'm sorry.
But maybe to axe murder us, especially the people that we just because we've already trashed PlayStation 2 people.
Oh, of course.
And DCEU people.
Sorry.
Yeah, I like Aquaman. I don't know if you like Aquaman.
Really? You liked Aquaman?
Dude,
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, everybody. Gosh.
Yeah, no. Aquaman is actually great. Okay, great. It's a stretch. It's really good.
Is it great because of what it is, or because it's Jason Momoa?
I'm not one of those Jason Momoa is my daddy kind of people. Even though Jason Momoa, you are really cool. Simply because of the fact that you're brown. I'm also brown, and we did not have enough cool brown people.
Yeah.
So, and he rides Harleys and stuff, which I also do. So yeah, he's just a great all-around person. So Game of Thrones. I loved him in Conan, actually. I wish more people saw that because that was really good. But just he's just a really good actor, all in all. And,
who's another great actor? Keanu Reeves.
Yeah. Yes, Keanu Reeves is my spirit animal.
This is probably the best year for him right now with John Wick 3, Parabellum, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
And then his role in Toy Story 4. Surprised if anybody didn't know that. Plays Duke Kaboom, if I'm saying that name right as well.
Yeah, you are.
You got Cyberpunk 2077, which it was announced at E3, which will be in there for 2020.
Yes, and I haven't confirmed it yet. I need to look it up. But he plays a very interesting character, if I'm correct, and if the chatter I've heard is correct. But in the original Cyberpunk game, I think is it 2029, 2027? I don't remember, but it was like it was
2029 when you first showed me about it.
Was it?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. Someone out there could, guys, please, if you know of anything, like we'll have links at the bottom of the video for this about all of our social media aspects. We'll get that to the end of the video.
Yeah, we're not about correction.
Yes, so please correct us, please.
But yeah, so that it was a tabletop game, kind of like Dungeons and Dragons.
Okay.
It's a very extensive game written by Mike Pondsmith. I think that it's really good stuff. Excuse me.
But now it's become so much bigger now.
Right.
It's so much more interesting. Which, by the way, I don't know if you knew this or not. If you read the article on this, but it says that Keanu's character has the second most dialogue compared to the protagonist, the character he plays.
Yeah, that's why he's important. I lost my track of thought. Okay. So his character, if I'm correct, is supposed to be one of the original characters from that game. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if this is chronological, like the original tabletop game is chronologically chronologically after, or before this digital release, or if this digital release is like a soft reboot, because obviously like the year 2023 or whatever it was is like really close.
Yeah.
Because we're in 2019 and we don't have the crazy technology that's talked about in that game. But give or take 50 years, it doesn't matter though. So I don't know if chronologically it's supposed to be the same thing, but he's supposed to play this character named Johnny Silverarm, I think.
Silverarm.
Yeah, and he's supposed to be a really important character in that original tabletop game, and he's like a guy with a silver left arm prosthetic, and he's like a rock star guitarist and stuff. But he also runs the Samurais or something. I think the band is called the Samurais. So when he calls you samurai in that trailer,
Yeah.
I don't know if that's slang or if because he's really playing that character. And if that is, I've never even played the tabletop game, even though I've heard it's great, and that just makes me double excited.
I'm sure a lot of people have played a tabletop game one way or another.
Yeah, but I mean like that specific one. Oh my god. Oh my god. No, but yeah, so I'm very excited for this game. It's got everything.
Oh, it looks great. But
other news. You've watched the anime Psychopaths, right?
Psychopaths?
Psychopaths.
Oh, Psychopaths.
Yeah, Psychopaths.
Sorry, no, it looks interesting, but they said from what I've read, they said the first season is fantastic, but they said the second season falls short.
Really? Don't tell me that.
I'm sorry. I
just discovered the second season. That was the news.
Okay, so you discovered the second season. Well, the thing is, what I read was not like it doesn't delve deep into what it's about. It just says like it was on a list, and God forbid, those top 10 lists of everything. But it was voted upwards for like having a very lackluster second season, But once again, this is one of those things where it's to each their own. Like some people may not agree with every anime taste that we have versus theirs. Some say
Cowboy Bebop all day, best anime ever. Sorry, but eclectic taste, all that stuff across the weebdom.
I mean, but I guess that's fair. I mean, to each their own on who their favorite is, but like for me, it's Gurren Lagann all day, every day.
Oh god,
it's
so good.
You see, even I got you on board with it.
Yeah. Poor Kamina.
Kamina. If none of you have ever seen Gurren Lagann and you don't understand that reference, please go watch it. You will laugh. You'll be excited.
You'll cry.
You'll cry. You'll have manly pride. Even you women will have manly pride.
Oh God! What's his line? We were saying it for We were saying it for a month after you made me watch it.
What was it? It was See, that's sad that I hype it all up and I don't even remember his simplest line. It's like, don't believe in you that believes in you. Believe in the me that believes in you.
Which is oddly inspirational and
I'm sure I misquoted that, but that's the general consensus of it.
What was his special move? The something kick.
Oh Lord, it was like, when I can't spoil too much because anybody that hasn't seen it yet, I don't want to be that guy.
I just want to. Oh yeah! Oh my God! Who the hell do you think I am?
That was it.
Kick! So good. He's a great character. Jesus. He super machioso, but just great and all around.
Oh, absolutely.
Character.
And we'll most likely do our an anime review on a couple things on our favorites at a later date, but for right now, that was The Wire. I know that took off a little bit of time for you guys. Thank you for hanging in there and hearing some of our news and perspectives, but I think now we're ready to kick it out to our original topic, on to Halo.
God, what? It's so deep. Jesus.
It's like, where do you begin? And funny enough, I think I know where to begin.
Yeah. So, your first encounter with Halo? Where was it? Let's get a little personal, guys. Get into our backstory.
So
once, when young Zachary was a young lad, sitting there in front of his first Xbox with the Duke thick-ass controller.
When I was just a wee cream puff.
Oh my God.
The first time I actually played Halo, I believe is actually either at the end of 2001 or it was the middle of 2002. It's a really very fuzzy memory, but I do remember I was invited over to my sister's boyfriend's house at the time because she was babysitting me, and he was playing the game, and I only got to watch. I never got to play, and I thought, wow, that's really cool. You're shooting aliens, and the guy's in armor, and like I don't know what's going on, but my child brain is like exploding with excitement. So
it was having a nerd gas.
It was definitely having a nerd gas, 100%. So it wasn't until afterwards that he said he's already beaten it like 3 times at this point. So he must have been playing it religiously. But I asked him, I said, hey, can I borrow your copy? And turns out I actually never gave it back.
Ooh.
Years in the making. and then I lost the disc, so I had to go buy the original like Xbox collector. Not really, it wasn't a collector's edition. It was like, you know, the gray border around an Xbox game when it was like a classic Xbox game.
Was it the game of the year, or was it
game
just
of the
like
year
a
edition?
platinum?
Or was it platinum? Either way, my point is like I had to go back and get another game when it was already out for a couple of years. And for the longest part, I loved every mission, but I stopped. As a kid, I could never finish a game when it got really hard, and I'm not ashamed to admit that. When it got to what was it? I believe when it got to the library, or no, 343 Guilty Spark.
God dang it, that was the mission that did me in too.
Before 343 Guilty Spark, I would love to play the game to and from there to the silent cartographer, or the map room. I'm sorry, I'm trying to remember all the missions. Come on, guys, it was like years ago, and it's been a while since I played the first Halo game. So, anyway, long story short, I when I played that, I finally got the nerve to do co-op with one of my best friends at the time, and he helped me get through the rest of it, because when you got into 343 Guilty Spark, it's like, oh, what are these things?
Oh, it's a complete slaughter.
And it's a slaughterhouse. Like, you go in there, and these parasites, you're thinking, oh,
you don't know what the F is going. You've been playing the game for like hours.
Hours, yes.
With one enemy type that's already got variants. You got hunters, you got the little bastards, grunts, you've got the elites, and they're really difficult sometimes if you're retarded.
The jackals.
The jackals. Like, I mean, you just got all this, and then all of a sudden you're like, the Flood, and then they give you this creepy behind cutscene to introduce the Flood.
That that scared me.
You spent the entire game as this monster of a killing machine, right?
Yes.
And then you've got him like panicked, like mildly panicked, going into this room. You're like, bruh.
And they show you the video.
Yeah,
of Captain
Jenkins
Jenkins, poor Jenkins.
Jenkins, fire your weapon.
And, look, God, rest in peace, Sergeant Johnson. But no, but that was the turning point. They threw you a game that they could have already said, okay, this is your one enemy for the rest of the game, and they threw a curveball mid stride.
Yeah, and it's like creepy, and it's like you're already like low key like worried about the Covenant.
Yeah.
Especially if you're like an impressionable, dumb little 8-year-old playing this game.
I mean,
you know. And, so you're playing this game, and you're like, oh god, the Covenant, they're on the ring. Well, no, they're gonna get to the control room, and then this whole Flood stuff happens, and you find out they're this parasite, like you said, and they like genetically mess you up and all this stuff, and you're just like, oh my god. Oh my god.
But
Jenkins, don't die! No, you died! and then the doors blow open in that mission. Yeah, no.
It's said that we can joke about it now, but it was such a horrific
experience when you're
that young and you're just like, what happened?
I had night. So my experience with it was I played a lot of Super Nintendo beforehand. That was my first console. And actually, I think the first 3 games I owned was Killer Instinct, Super Mario World, and Mortal Kombat. The first and second one.
Yeah.
Super great. But then when we were 8, that's when my grandfather decided to get me a birthday gift. And he got me and Keith, my brother, the Xbox. And with the Xbox immediately also got us like Halo. And so that, oh my god, I did the same thing essentially. I played through it, got to that mission, and literally just quit because I had nightmares.
Because you feel like you gotta give up at that point, but because you don't know, you're fighting an unknown enemy that you've seen And the thing is, they showed that. They showed the parasite going into the Marines and the elite bodies, and they're raising them from the dead. It's like, that freaks you out. It's like, wow, that parasite, like, I don't want these parasites to get on me now, because what if I get changed? And you're like, your only hope is that, oh, I've got Mjolnir armor, so we're fine, we're good. But no, they're devastating little bugs. Especially, and if everyone called them something different. I always called them, here comes the popcorn guys.
The popcorn guys.
Which, if you don't know, is that bloated nutsack of parasites.
Jesus.
That they just shuffled along.
Bah!
So terrible. Like, I wasn't even worried about the brutish, like, elite ones. I was more concerned about those guys because they came out of nowhere and blew you up. It was like almost like instant kill.
Oh god. So I never told you this. That's why I haven't thought about it in a while. But I didn't get to finish that game until Halo 2 came out.
Really?
Yeah, so what happened was me and my brother were playing. Me and my brother decided to do the same thing you and your previous friend, whoever this guy was, did. We were gonna like.
Yeah.
He finally was old enough, because he was young. He was finally old enough that he could play co-op with me and we could push through it right. And we were playing through a storm, and the power went out. A blackout happened and it killed the Xbox. And along with the Xbox, we were told by Microsoft, because we turned the Xbox back in to get repairs.
Yeah.
We were told by Microsoft that the what was it?
Something happened to the system itself, the disk tray maybe?
I think it overtaxed the laser and the laser burned the disc.
Go figure. Wow, it burned the disc?
Yeah, like it was, you pulled it out and you saw this, it wasn't like it set it on fire or anything, but you saw this dark mark.
Yeah.
On the disc that was like, it looked like a small little swipe, like almost like slightly thicker than a Sharpie.
I gotcha.
And it's because
kind of like if you put your hand on a dirty car, like when you're holding the door open and you get that blight mark on your hand.
Yeah. And it literally burned the disc. And so Halo 2 comes out, and we ended up buying both again. And so I never got to finish Halo 1 until like the night before Halo 2, because I was like, I'm not playing Halo 2 without finishing Halo 1.
That's always the dilemma for a lot of sequels. It's like,
yes.
I can't do this until this one comes out, but you never know.
Good. It was so good though. I loved it. Oh my gosh.
What was your first, how did you finally, what was your first experience doing it? How'd you get into it?
What, into Halo?
Yeah, into the Combat Evolved.
Man, you must have missed.
No, I'm just kidding.
No, yeah.
Because I feel like that. Sorry,
no,
I know.
My grandpa bought it for me and my brother.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm playing with stuff in the office. I'm irresponsible.
It's okay. But trust me, I was listening. I was listening to you. So like, if you said that, and if our listeners are like, Zach, what are you doing? Like, he just said his answer. I'm not gonna lie. I was looking something up real quick, but I was trying to multitask, and I think a lot of you out there can relate to trying to do something. And
we're only doing a podcast.
I'm just saying,
with a co-host that requires conversation and conversational skills.
I answered back.
Yeah, it's fair, but that's all we require.
I really just wanted to see the release date, because I forgot the release date for Halo 2, and I wanted to see between 2001 and 2000.
I got you.
It was 2004.
Oh no, I was gonna tell you off the top of my head.
Well, it's not. It's 2004, so you're done.
It's like November 11th, 2004.
So anyway, so I'll just tell you what. I'll go back when we're done recording, and I'll listen to you again, and then we'll come back to this on the second episode.
The short is basically I started off with Super Nintendo.
Okay. With
Killer Instinct, Mortal Kombat, and Super Mario. And my grandfather wanted to get me and my brother an update when we were 8, I guess.
Yeah. And
he bought us. And I guess Halo had been out a while at that time, because I didn't get it until 2002. And so he bought us the Xbox and Halo Combat Evolved. And Project Gotham Racing, I think. But anyway, but yeah, so that's how I got it.
I remember Gotham Racing. Good lord.
Yeah, and that's how I got into it and all that. So.
But when we look back now at playing the game, I know there's so much to like we're gonna cover, but when you really look back on the story of it all, like by the way, I was doing a little research, and to delve into the history of Halo is to you might as well be digging into the first volume of the Encyclopedia of Britannica, because there's so much, and you think it was one guy, and it wasn't just one guy. It was like 4 studios. And
really,
granted, I know people are going to be like, "Well, where's the information? Who are the 4 studios?" Like, you trust me, you Google. I kid you not, you can Google search it anywhere and say who created Halo, and you'll see 4 studios come up. Microsoft is of course one of them, and Bungie's a second. There's 2 more that I don't remember the name because I'm sure they've done a lot of good work. I don't know. I didn't do research on them.
Google it, folks. Yeah, no, it was interesting. I remember I was reading about Halo and how it was first demoed as a third-person shooter for Mac.
It was, and
yeah,
they changed it. They changed it at the last minute too.
Yeah, because Microsoft was like, we need an exclusive for our Xbox.
Exactly.
But boy.
But they did not expect it to be the flagship. But then again, they weren't expecting Forza to be the flagship either.
Which is funny, because maybe I'm just stupid and I'm just not good at Xbox.
No, go ahead.
But I didn't know Forza was important until Xbox One.
I mean, I didn't know Forza was important either, because I'm not a racing game kind of guy.
I like vehicles, and I didn't know that, guys. I'm pathetic, I know.
No, it's okay. Because I'm sure you'll find fault with the game somewhere where it's like, no, that's not true. That's not right.
Yeah, it's true, guys. You're very technically apt when it comes to cars and motorcycles and all of that.
I was going to call you nitpicky, but all right, that works.
I am nitpicky. And so I'll be playing a game and be like, you didn't. Like, even in Grand Theft Auto, I'll be like driving a motorcycle and be like, why isn't he using his clutch and shifting?
Yeah.
Like,
but, by the way, for anyone that, I'm not trying to change you on that one. I'll change the subject on that one. But
sure.
Going on the, for those of you who don't, like, we've been talking about it for a little bit now, but if you don't know exactly what in the world they're talking about, like, what are you guys talking about? If you truly have never played the game, a little quick synopsis is that the humans on planet Earth have ventured out into the galaxy, and they have colonized different parts of space. And without getting too technical, because I know there's going to be a lot of Halo fans out there that are going to be like, oh, you missed this fact and missed this fact. Guys, I don't have I'm not going to read you the whole history of Halo. You can do that yourself. But to give you a basis of it, the humans meet a race of aliens, a conglomeration of them, called the Covenant, and it's made up of different alien races. When they first came in contact, and I won't ruin it for you because you can read a book about it in this. There are several books on the subject. I'll call it first one being First Contact, on how the Covenant met the humans for the very first time. It was actually a misunderstanding because a grunt got scared, a Marine shot it, and because he thought the grunt was going to do something horrific to him, while Sergeant Johnson, I believe Tartarus, were meeting one another. Actually, I think it was the chieftain before Tartarus who was meeting Johnson for the first time. Or Johnson's superior at the time, because Johnson was part of something totally different. But anyway, my point is that went wrong. A war broke out. They look at the humans as infidels, and they're going to get in the way of the religious order, and that they're a bigger threat. They need to be extinguished. Now, I didn't read the book, so I'm pretty sure...
Does it not bother you that I feel like that's the beginning of the war? Is like just...
a misunderstanding?
A cultural misunderstanding?
Yes.
Like... I'm sorry, person who wrote that, that's trash. Like, why could it have been more? Okay, maybe I'm being harsh. I'm sorry, person who wrote that. But I just feel like it would have been more interesting if it was just like the Covenant being such, because they talk about how religiously zealous they are.
Well, they are, but I think part of it, because they said it was some speculate it was a setup. They're saying that the prophets knew, which is one of the alien races.
Okay.
They're saying
that makes me more acceptable.
Yeah, I feel like there's like a theory that's like, if not confirmed already by now, that the prophets set it up to where it made it look like the grunt was going to do something, and they made the Marines shoot to start the war to begin with, because the prophets know the Forerunners, and they also know that there was a second race that attacked the Forerunners too. And I guess that they, being that they were the humans, I think they just associated the before and after with them. Which, like I said, if someone's going to correct me on that, they probably will, but that's okay. But anyway, your main story of where you come in at is you're playing as a Spartan. A Spartan is how do I say this?
He's a super soldier with a bunch of armor.
There you go. I was trying to find the words genetically altered.
Yeah.
Super soldier, but I couldn't get out the word
genetic
for some reason.
Struggle some more.
You play as Petty Officer Master Chief John 117. We don't know a last name, and that's all you're given. And the 117 is his Spartan designation number. He's a super soldier that can kick a lot of ass. And just to summarize, you play him, and you fight. In the very first one, you fight aliens, and you find out that when you're escaping one of your home worlds, one of your, I know it's called Reach, and I know it's a shield world, or not shield world, but it's a massive city planet.
Oh yeah.
A massive base anyway. They fell to the Covenant, and then you're picking up where that ship came out of it, because the Pillar of Autumn. I know it sounds like I'm scapegoating, and I apologize for anyone listening. I'm trying to keep the story straight. When you come out of slipspace or hyperspace, whichever one you're more comfortable with, slipspace is the Halo version. Hyperspace is Star Wars, so just to give you guys an idea. You're coming out of slipspace and you see the Halo ring. The Halo ring is an ancient device that will kill all life in the galaxy, but you don't know that until the fourth.
You just spoiled it.
I spoiled it, but everyone should know what Halo is.
All right.
I'm just telling you, that's what it is. You got to stop the ring.
Yeah, and it's
There's so much more to it, but I can only give you so much because we'll be here all night telling you the whole story about it.
It gets super deep, and that's something about this game that is so there's a lot of stuff beautiful about this game. One, technically, like I don't mean like technically, like on a technical standpoint, like it was one of the prettiest and most effective first-person shooters at the time, because they were coming off of first-person shooters in general were coming off of like Doom, which was very like almost 3D, 2D kind of thing, right? And I mean, the Doom games are great in their own way, but I mean, like, they're just dated. And then you had Quake, and Quake is the predecessor to that very. It's like a proto.
Proto what?
Like a proto first-person shooter almost.
Yeah.
And then you have like Halo, which sets the standard, and it's amazing. And just the art direction, fantastic. It's beyond. It's, oh my gosh, just the attention to character design and all this stuff. I mean, it's going into like alien languages and lore. I mean, like, 'cause like he said, he's like, this Covenant's a big conglomerate of alien races and stuff, and
right.
And just they're just so, it's so deep. It's like the next level.
It is.
And they just Bungie just took a deep dive into making this lore, and I didn't understand it all as a kid.
Oh yeah,
now,
it
like,
gets
as an adult, it's amazing.
It gets so complex when you talk about it, because we, like I said, and I know I've said this several times during our talking, but we could sit here all day going into the lore and like who each faction was and what each faction is and what are they fighting for, who are they fighting for, the ship names, the gun names. Like there's so much going into just the mechanics and the design of the game itself. But this game is not just, you know, it was a starting point for a lot of future first-person shooters. It broke barriers in the gaming industry for this, in my opinion, and a lot of people would back me up on that. But you're looking at a game that started off as Halo Combat Evolved, then it went to 2, Halo 3, which I probably get a big cheer out of that one, Halo Reach, you got your Halo Wars, your ODST in the middle, Halo 4 and 5, and I know a lot of people probably booed at the last one. But
Well, let's take a step away from all the technical and beautiful, like you know, the technical aspects of a game that, you know, some of these people may not have played.
Yeah.
And you know, and let's shorten it to this. Like, if you have not come in contact with a Halo game, you need to. And this is not just, and I'll preface with this, like, I'm not just an Xbox fanboy. We've made a new one, X-Boy.
You're gonna be an X-Boy.
Yeah, I'm gonna be an X-Boy. I'm not just an Xbox fanboy, you know. And I love a lot of Xbox. I primarily buy those consoles, but like, not just trying to just shamelessly plug into the Xbox. Like, you should really play this game because it's one of the things that Sony was desperate about. Sorry, that was my ring.
Oh, you're good.
The Sony was desperate about competing with. Like, they tried to come out with Killzone, which I never played too much of that.
Neither have I.
I think I played one game at a friend's house, but it's a good game. And I think it fought all the way up until PlayStation 3. But
keep in mind, I was like, when PlayStation 2 was out and Halo was out during this time, I'm still playing Grand Theft Auto Vice City at this point.
Oh, true. That game is amazing. We need to do a Grand Theft Auto episode. But no, like, it was just so hard for Sony to compete with the first person aspect with Halo existing, because it set a standard. The first person was amazing. They started running hardcore competitions. You know, I remember the Halo 1 like tournament was so substantial, was like featured in the Halo 2 game. Did you ever go through all the extra like content in Halo 2, like the original
stuff?
Yeah,
well, a little bit. This was when I was still. This is at the point where I cared more about the game more than the multiplayer, which still stands true to this day.
Yeah, and I'm the same way. I mean, I didn't even have Xbox Live for Halo 2, so everyone's like, oh my god, the Halo 2 Xbox Live was amazing. Well, I didn't know.
I didn't have Xbox Live until Halo 3.
Yeah,
so
me too.
I might have missed out on a whole big thing, but I feel like I didn't really miss out on much, which I'm sure a lot of people built a lot of friendships and on there, and I'm not saying it was bad. I'm just saying, like, I was just not around for it. I just didn't have the time. Well, how much time could you have as a little kid, you know? But you get the idea.
Right.
You just didn't have it available to you at the time.
Right. But yeah, it was just God. It was hard to compete. I mean, PlayStation was not just, they just could not. I mean, and PlayStation had other competitors that were different. They held a lot of titles. I mean, even down to, like, I think they had the exclusive rights to Metal Gear for a while and all this stuff.
Yeah.
But other than that, like, and even actually, they had the rights to Grand Theft Auto for a while. Vice City was the first one to come to Xbox, I believe.
Was it? It was, wasn't it?
Yeah, I remember, because it was this giant thing for me. I used to go to Blockbuster, boys, back in the day. If you boys are young,
good old Blockbuster.
Blockbuster used to have games, and it was super lit. But the day the Xbox version of Vice City came out, I think I was losing my mind. I was like, oh my god, finally I can play Grand Theft. But yeah, no, it other than its exclusives and stuff like that, which PlayStation always had an edge with its exclusives, they just could not find a suitable first-person shooter to compete with Halo, because it was just so industry leading, and it was amazing. So I digress. Get this game. A version of the game. They have the Master Chief Collection. It's got all of the relevant ones, and they keep building upon the relevant ones. Mm-hmm. You have 1, 2, and 3 ODST. They're coming out with a Reach update, and then you can buy 4. No, and 4. Yeah, they have 4 on it also.
They do.
And then 5 just came out recently, and so fantastic.
One of the things that you mentioned, like, I believe when you first got Alyssa's Xbox, we told her that she needed to play. She needed to play Halo, and you actually brought up a really good point. I didn't even have to say this. You made a very valid point. If you don't remember, I'm going to remind you right now that you said. Well, that's okay, because that's what I'm here for. But you told her, and I agreed with you wholeheartedly, that when you buy Halo, you're not buying Halo just to, like, hey, buy this game because we really love it, we really enjoy it, everybody plays it, it's so cool. No, you went on a very insightful. It almost felt like an insightful journey into the mind of a gamer when it came to this. But it was like, to summarize, you showed that if you're gonna play a game on Xbox, or if you're gonna play any kind of console at all, when it comes to not even just first-person shooters, but no matter what game you're playing, it's good to play Halo, because that kind of gives you the coordination of how to do a controller.
Oh yeah.
And how to play as the character. What's the grenade button? What's the fire button? Kind of get you adaptive to all the controls, because every control did something for the most part.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, the white button was the light, black button was
Switch grenades.
Switch grenades. Oh god, that's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the left trigger grenade, right trigger. You know,
A was jump. B, depending on your controller setup, of course, you could have like the toggle crouch, and B was melee, X was your reload, Y was switch weapons, hold down X to switch weapons on the ground. Like I said, I know a lot of you probably had the different controller setups, but that was the default for a lot of us, for me anyway.
Yeah, but yeah, like even just because she's recently getting back into gaming, and
it's a good starting point. It helps. It helps with your coordination. It helps you really, like, I know it sounds like extreme. It's like, wow, you're going to throw somebody at a first-person shooter as soon as they get into game. Yes.
Yeah, but it's also simple enough. I mean, the bare minimum difficulty is, like, simple enough to just get around and learn to shoot. I mean,
I think the hardest thing about Combat Evolved, realistically, the hardest thing is just learning your turning and camera angles.
Yeah.
And turning down your sensitivity if you're not, you know, catching it at a million miles an hour.
Yeah.
Which is perfectly legitimate on that.
So, to move on, what was your favorite one?
My favorite one? My favorite Halo.
Okay, so I preface it this way.
Okay, you about to say?
You cannot say number one.
Okay.
Just off the rip. Simply because that's probably deep. Yeah, it's deep down. It's like that's the one you always come back to. You know, like well, at least for me and you, because there's actually, like, we have a friend, Snowy, who I think he said he started off with Halo 2.
He's really good at it.
Yeah.
Like, he is very good.
I'm sure. But between you and me, like, you know, and, you know, other people who start off with Halo 1, Halo Combat Evolved, Halo 1 will probably be, like, deep down that number one spot, because that's, you know, our first Halo entry, you know? And so there's, like, nostalgic reasoning behind that. But
sure,
as far as like just you loving the story, or, you know, not necessarily the story, but so basically, if it was a story, or if it was the gameplay, or if it was the online, or the time that you spent with people, like, what is your favorite Halo?
In terms of all of that, like, in terms of putting it all together, I would say Halo 3. And I know that's going to be a very common answer to a lot of people who you ask that question to.
Yeah, I mean, but even it set the standard for so much.
Yeah, it does. And for me personally, I choose Halo 3 because when it came down to it, that was my first game I played on Xbox Live. When my Xbox buddy, Major Shepherd, came up and said, all right, you're on Xbox Live now. Let's go. I want you to meet some guys. We're going to play some Halo 3. And we're gonna go into multiplayer and all that, and we're gonna show you the ropes a little bit. And I said, all right, cool. Now I've already played Halo 3. I played the story to and from before Xbox Live, but in terms of multiplayer, that's where my Xbox Live adventure began. That's where I started meeting my friends. This is where I started getting those close relationships with these people. And when it came to now, if you're delving back down a little bit more to the story was very. I felt like the story was very compelling. And it was tying up loose ends and kind of getting it to an end, because we've already played the first two games that kind of was building up that story. And it's like, as everybody remembers the tagline, let's finish the fight.
Yeah.
And it's like you were always pumped for that. You were always excited for that. And when you know everything that you know leading up to that game, you're ready to get in. You're ready to jump back into it. And with you combine that with the multiplayer and the online experience, it really makes it a one-of-a-kind game. Not saying that Halo 2 didn't have that, just, you know, different people had different entrances to Xbox Live, and I'm sure they would say the same thing about Halo 2. Now, the one thing I will say about Halo 2, even though I do hold it in a high regard. Halo 2's music was on fire, which which was updated versions of the Combat Evolved, and it was lesser versions of the Halo 3, and not to mention adding the Breaking Benjamin audio sound in the towards the end of the mission.
It makes me so mad that it's not in the redux.
It's not. It's actually
they just
very
lost the copyright.
They did, and it was really sad. But the thing is, like, when you switch back, like, I will never play that level on Anniversary Edition. I'll actually switch back to the old one just to hear it.
To have the copy,
just to hear that one, and it makes me sad that it's not in there because it was such an iconic. Like, when you went into that thing, you're about to fight these elite council members with swords and plasma blasters and everything. It's like, and you just hear that drop of the guitar, the da 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 da. Like, I don't know, I'm doing the melody wrong, but it was so cool. And you're just like, oh, I'm ready for this. Let's do this. Let's go. And it fits so well. Same thing with when you go into Halo Reach. Like I said, Halo 3. Halo 3 stands at the top for me. Halo 2 stood at the top for me musically, and Halo Reach stood at the top story-wise for me. Because that was a tragic story. It was, and I know we joke about it now about like, oh, they could have avoided this, they could have avoided that, but it's like when you're first playing that game, you see it for what it is, and you're seeing it as, wow, like these Spartans, they're not Spartan 2s, but they're here to do a job, and they're willing to sacrifice everything to make sure it gets done, and that really hits home for many people when they're playing their character, which was really cool because that was the first time they implemented a build your own character inside the Halo universe.
Yeah, it's true. Oh god.
I mean, you still played as one singular character, but it could have been anybody. It could have been male, female, and you can have crazy armor or legit armor, whatever the case you went with.
Yeah, so good. I think for me, my favorite Halo, this is gonna give someone a seizure. I'm sorry, seizure having person. Was Halo 4.
Really?
Yeah.
Explain. I want to know.
I love the story of the first 3 Halos. They're compelling. They're very great, and I'm not saying they're bad by any means. Not at all. I'm not saying they're bad at all. They're great. They're fantastic. But Halo 4. Sorry, guys. God decided to drop some rain on us. Pretty hard. But yeah. So, Halo 4 is the deep, personal one. Like, you've been playing. It's almost like a build-up kind of thing. Like you've been playing Master Chief for nearly 10 years. Right. And you're playing this character, and there's a bunch of lore about him, and there's books and stuff like that, and I'm sure then they dig into his personality in the books and stuff like that. But this game, visually, auditorily, just immerses you into the mindset of who Master Chief is and how socially removed he is because of the viciousness of the Spartan program, and how almost emotionally dependent he is on Cortana, who is fine. He's a fine piece of thickness in that game. And so, but like, and it's just so deep, it's so moving. You know, there's this constant dichotomy with him about like he is the man and she is technically the machine, but he acts more like a machine and she acts more human than he does because he's been so dehumanized by war and his background, which we could dig into, but I don't want to dig into it too much, so you guys can still have some wonder and mystery about this character and just look about why he is the way he is. And it's so interesting. It's so tragic, and so like he's just become. I mean, this he really has become a fighting machine.
He is
over time,
and I think that's what. I think when you actually look at some of the other things, like back in Halo Legends, or even in Lord, what is it? In like Forward Unto Dawn, you kind of, which I know is more about Lasky than anything, but you can kind of see how his character develops over each game and over each book and over whatever he's ever mentioned in, and you can see that his psyche has like always been get the job done, find it, but it's not until Halo 4 until you really get the emotional, like his tapping into his human side.
Yeah, because there's the stakes are very personal to him. Like there's always there's a big calamity with Halo 4 and the Didact and stuff, and that's coming. But like he's been essentially not bred, but you know, like he was created to fight and aimed very, very hard. I mean, he's been fighting the Covenant for so like decades at this point, and then it's done. And then like it's almost like during that time, even though you'll see at the end of Halo 3 what he's been doing at that time.
Yeah.
Even nonetheless, like it's like now he's finally at peace, and it's like he doesn't know what to do with his psychological well-being, you know, and because it's just really dependent on Cortana.
Right.
And she's just, and her character's so interesting because she's like an AI, but she came from like a human brain.
But when you really think about it, even no matter how special the AI is, and yeah, Cortana was very special, being from the brain tissue of Halsey, or muscle tissue, whatever the case.
No, yeah, brain tissue.
It was brain tissue.
Yeah.
Okay.
She cloned her brain.
Right.
Yeah.
But just no matter how special the AI, when you really think about it, an AI has more personality and care for the people around her than a actual human being that was trained to be a weapon.
Yeah, and it's so, oh God, the ending of it is so moving because it ends on a good note and on a really sad note, and I don't want to give it away because I want people to play this game and be moved like I was.
Like seriously,
it's so good.
But this is what we're here for. Is that when you listen to us, we want you. We're not gonna just intentionally leave cliffhangers to get you irritated. We want y'all to take what we've listened to, and really see that there's a deeper meaning to it, and we want you to experience it for yourselves, so that way you can look at it as well. And that's why it's so important for Halo to be on a list. If you're thinking about getting into video games of any kind, this is what you need to look at it for. And that's my little deep moment for the second, little thought process for a moment. But then we do one thing that we should probably tip a hat to, that I know probably some are gonna think like, wait, why didn't you touch base on this? Is the music.
Oh my God!
Which we all know.
I mean, so God dang that.
You
jump into that game.
Oh yes, jeez, and we're getting excited because we know like how hyped it is.
There's so few games that have music so like relentlessly moving that really propels you into that. Like there's like a bunch of people like, oh my gosh, I love Call of Duty. If you're a Call of Duty scrub, we love you, but the music in that stuff is not amazing. I mean, okay, so the people who wrote the music, you guys are obviously musically talented and amazing.
Yeah, you had a job to do and you did.
Yeah, and you did it well. But like, it's one of those things where like the people who wrote the music for Halo, Martin O'Donnell and Michael Salvatore, like it's so like it's just punishing you with this excitement, like to get into the you oh my gosh, the mission for the silent cartographer, like landing on that island and everyone's on the drop ships going, and that music is just backing you. It's like the music is propelling you forward.
Which one?
Where you guys land on the island.
Oh, on Combat Evolved.
Yeah, Combat Evolved.
That's funny because that's exactly the same one I was thinking of. Because you just hear, because you're coming in, and I don't care. I'm gonna spoil it. I'm gonna say it. When you're coming in, you're coming on the beach. They tell you the mission objective. Here's what we gotta do. This is what we gotta find. And as soon as Foehammer Echo 419 comes swooping in with the other Pelican up beside you, and she just lowers you down. It's like, drop down, hit it, boys. I love that.
Oh yeah.
I was so ready to hit the beach,
yes.
storm the beach. Let's go kill
Start
some Covenant.
punching little.
Oh, you know you were punching people left and right, like bam. So can't wait on that one, but that's what it feels like though.
So let's move through this stuff.
By the way,
with the music specifically, like
Martin O'Donnell and Michael Salvatore, like congratulations to them for making such an iconic theme.
Like you guys, and if you guys ever listen to this, like just understand, you guys literally moved so many generationally. Like in this,
how many videos inspired on YouTube that did drum ones, like electric guitars, people who were testing their vocals out during the monk chanting version in the beginning of it.
If anybody can do that, but yeah, just all the covers of that.
Pretty much anyone with a big echoey room can nail it if they have that deep enough voice. Which, go and try it. It's really fun.
yeah.
But no, like these two guys held that title so tightly of like these iconic musics for Halo, for the first one, the second, the third, ODST, and Reach. They basically the span of games that Bungie held, and then sadly when Bungie, I said sadly because it was a legacy. It was a legacy done for Bungie, but then they moved when 343 bought it. It made Halo 4. They got it in someone else.
Right, yeah. Neil Davidge was he ended up taking the reins, and let me tell. So I get frustrated when people say they don't like the music to Halo 4 because I actually love it, and it's not just because I love the game that much. I mean, because I do. Like I said, it's my favorite title from Halo, but I just feel like he wrote a lot of moving pieces. So like where there was the big scores with Martin O'Donnell and Mark Salvatore, all that stuff is the big war, the big stuff going on, and the big stakes. But Neil Davidge wrote this really moving, personal stuff because, like I said, we're digging into the deep psyche of Master Chief. Why is he so effed up? You know, like, and like why Cortana's constantly longing for this humanity that she can't have. But and there's I have a favorite piece in the mission where you're in what is it called? You're driving that it's a Pelican, right? No, you're driving a fighter. In what's supposed to be an homage to the trench run from Star Wars.
Oh yes,
such a good such a good mission. You're not floppy-haired Luke Skywalker. You're Master Chief. 7 foot, mechanical, not really mechanical, but wearing mechanized titanium,
semi-powered armor.
Yeah, armor, and you're driving this space fighter jet thing, and you're blowing up the Didax crap. And you just, it's so good. It's so moving, and it just, and then the music that they use to back it's also the music. Yeah, no, I'm lying because I'm thinking about a compilation that I used to watch. But it's the music oh God, it's so good. It's so backing. It's almost, that song to me has the same effect that the original in CE, with the beach landing has, like, that's propelling you forward. My only issue with Halo 4 is I feel like for whatever reason sometimes the music was mixed really low.
It was. For Halo 4 here's the thing about Halo 4 is that I never felt hyped during any of the missions. I feel like your combat evolved through Reach and everything in between those were your hype games. Those were like, you have an objective, you got to get through it, and that you need that hype to get ready for the next mission. But Halo 4 was like, there's still hype, but we're going to tone it down to where you feel the emotion of it. But which goes to say, and I know we've been kind of staying away from it because I think we both know how we feel about this, but when it comes, like, comparing it to like Halo 5, where Halo 5, don't get me wrong, I'm glad that there's another Halo in the series. I know none of us are game developers or designers, so we can't go back and recreate it. I know some will try, and I appreciate your effort. But some of you liked Halo 5, some majority of you did not, and that's fine. I I liked it because it was the next Halo game, but I was not a fan of the direction they went with.
Yeah, there's a lot that I like about it, and there's a lot that I don't like. For everybody complaining about this, just get over it, because I'm gonna say it. I love the new gameplay.
Oh, the gameplay is great. I don't mind it at all.
I love the new like Spartan abilities, like, because you're in a suit like this, you'd think you could do half of this stuff.
For the most part,
I love being able to clamber on a wall. I love the almost holographic faux ADS, giving you that extra advantage for your assault rifle, making it like a way to compete against like the battle rifle and stuff. That's great. I love that. There's so much about it that I like. I hate the microtransactions. Don't ever do that again.
Please. Okay, I know we're gonna be discussing this in a later episode when it comes to the game industry.
Looking at you, EA, even though you're not the only perpetrator and you're just only the big one, so we've fought you on it because of Star Wars, and that was your fault for putting such a big target on your back. But in reality, it's all mobile games' fault. You sick fucks.
Well, with that being said,
but yeah, no.
Microtransactions we will be discussing because it is. I'm sorry. I know we have a buddy that has defended the microtransactions. You know, he's our lovely English chap across the pond that likes to. We won't give out his name, I promise, but he's got a very strong.
God.
It's not that he's defending it, more
that
or less.
Stupid crumpet. I love you. I know if you ever listen to this, I love you, boy.
He's got a decent reason. I mean, I don't like his reason, but I get
you're a limey cuck.
Microtransactions.
I'm just kidding. No, but
microtransactions suck. We don't want to pay
trash.
for. We don't want to pay for more that's in a game that we've already paid for.
I vaguely remember his argument, and I think it was all about having to support the studio and stuff like that. But guess what, studios? If you just make a decent enough first player, single player, like that's so compelling that people just lose their mind over it, and then you release DLC and junk, you'll make the money.
Oh, for sure.
We did it with Halo 3. We don't care that we were being raked
over the coals.
Over the coals for all the DLC and all the maps. Because I was playing your stupid multiplayer relentlessly.
Because it was worth it, though.
Yeah,
it was all worth it.
It was so good.
You wanted armor. You had to achieve it in Halo 3. You wanted a helmet. Yes. You wanted an achievement. You wanted to find a vidmaster. You had to work for it. And when you worked for it, you were rewarded justly for it. And everybody loved it because you had the ability to grow with your character, and you had a sense of achievement when you did it.
Yeah, exactly.
So why can't we go? Even with multiplayer, it was hard to rank up. You had to win, and if you didn't win, they didn't penalize you for it like they did in Halo 5. Like in Halo 5, you get penalized, you drop in a rank, and that's really sad. But in Halo 3, you didn't lose your rank. It just says, okay, you need to win more.
I will say though, I do like that about Halo 5 for when you are in the competitive circuit. And I am in no way a competitive player, but I did try my hand at ranked for a little while. Like, it really does like put you in your place, so that if you're like, oh, I'm Mr. Hotshot, Captain King BR, Ballsack Bachinian, if you're Captain Ballsack Bachinian and you get destroyed, right? That you took that hit in your reputation. Absolutely. And it's like boxing and stuff like that.
But it's a realistic thing that brought you back down to earth.
Yeah, it just makes you work harder and stuff like that. But that's just my small defense for that. But but I agree with you. Like the achievement hunting to get this armor and stuff like that was great. What I will say is unfortunate with the achievement hunting per way of doing that though is like people who did not have the friends on Xbox Live to do that. To pursue that, it was really hard,
But with those achievements and all that, and with the multiplayer, and this leads me into like that grandiose thing that we've been mentioning every once in a while throughout the story and the creation of it, is the multiplayer. And with the multiplayer, and I know we've touched base on it a couple of times of like jumping into it prematurely, but with the multiplayer in Halo, in any Halo, you could say it started in Combat Evolved for those of you who did the tournament, or you could say it started in Halo 2, whichever one. But for those of you who have played the multiplayer Halo, you know for a fact that you made your friends there. You fought, and you earned. You became a part of a clan. And this is when clans were big. When having that banner and having your ranks and having your
fight me KSI, fight me. Just
you had
you guys too.
You had your lovely KSI out there, which we all.
I'll never put your name on my gamer tag, no matter how scalped I was.
Yeah, I never understood why they made everyone who joined their clan put KSI, because I think that's a waste of money.
I think the uniformity is scary though.
Uniformity is stupid. When you're in a clan, you need to be uniform to a point where it's like you have your leader and you have your subordinates and you have like the people that follow your generals or whatever. I believe in that system.
But imagine you're like me, and so my multiplayer experience was mostly solo.
You're a rebel without a cause, though.
Thank you. But my multiplayer experience was really solo for a while until like I started getting into gaming with you and I got introduced to those boys.
Yeah.
But if you're me and you're playing with other randos and it's a Halo 3 big team Slayer, right? And you see a whole squad, like a whole like a full 8 of KSI, that's intimidating. Like you look at the other team and it's just like an entire like 8-man deep KSI. You're like, no.
But see, you know what the funny part was about that? When I led my guys, and yes, I was one of those clan leaders, but when I led my guys and when I was part of clans before I was a leader, we went in, and when we were in competitive of any kind, Slayer or big team battle, whatever the case may be, we saw those clans. We saw not just KSI, we saw some of the other ones that were notable at the time. But most important, when KSI came up, we didn't care. We're like, okay, we're going to go in, we're just going to play the game.
I feel like you guys had an advantage, too, that you guys weren't tagged like that.
That's true. Like,
so
they have upkeep.
They have no idea that you guys are you're not randos.
And we destroyed them every time. Like, there was I'm sorry, in my history on Halo, and this is not juicing myself up, I have never lost a game with a full team of KSI members. They have always fallen short, and they were always embarrassing to the team. It was only one time did they ever come close. That was in Halo 4, and that was when the remnants of KSI were still around.
They really died after Halo 3.
They really did. Like, well, a lot of clans died after Halo 3, sadly, because the clans were falling out, which that was the time of. I'm sorry, for me, that was the time of a life right there. Was you came home from school. And you did your homework.
And you slammed your Mountain Dew.
Ate your Doritos.
Jerked off before. To get your mind clear.
But when you got into it though, you got into your Xbox Live party. You're gonna be on that for a minute, aren't you?
Oh yeah, child.
But when you did that, you got in there, and it was a great time, and you knew that you always said that if you had a bedtime, if you had someone to look after you, you know that you only had so much time online, and so you had to get as much playtime as you could. But that was the beauty of it. With Halo, to summarize everything, you had a compelling story, a deep story. You had characters that you could really enjoy for yourself.
Pick up Cortana.
Like, you loved Cortana, and I give you credit for that, because Cortana had many great changes over the years.
Halo 4 all day.
Halo 4 all day, yeah. But you've got a deep story of a super soldier. You had Sergeant Johnson, who had Johnson, God bless.
Nathan Fillion, if you hear this.
Oh, Nathan Fillion's character.
I love your character. Yep, Buck is my favorite. Oh, I don't know, man. You are tied for favorite with Master Chief, and I love that me and you have the same birthday. I will not throw that out there.
Yeah.
Because Nathan Fillion, I know your birthday's kind of public, but I'm still going to respect your privacy and, most importantly, my privacy.
See, for me, if you're gonna talk about favorite character, Master Chief, it's like when we said what was our favorite Halo game, and we say Combat Evolved is like that one you just can't remove. Yeah, it's always that nostalgic. Yeah. That's where Chief lands on the character scale. Yeah. My favorite character is the Arbiter. God bless you, Keith David. You, sir.
Smoothest voice in the galaxy.
You are awesome. You are amazing. Both in Mass Effect and Halo and even Saints Row.
Oh, forgot he was in Saints Row.
Yes, the vice president.
Yeah, he's the vice president. He's so dope. He was also, little known fact, he was the voice of, or not little known fact, but if you're not into that world, he was the voice of Spawn in the animated series, which was so great. But yeah, my God, this game, quite simply put, is a masterpiece. This franchise, you just need to get deep. If you don't have an Xbox, just to wrap things up, guys, if you don't have an Xbox, go get one. Go buy a freaking Xbox One, Xbox 360, whatever, and just literally just get in it. Just get deep in this game.
You're gonna enjoy it. We can both promise you that you're not gonna leave disappointed in any way. I promise you that. With that, I think we should go ahead and start wrapping it up here. I know there's a lot we didn't talk about, and there's so much more that we could have delved into, but we wanted you to at least see from our point of view and our perspective what Halo meant to us and what we really enjoyed about it. And I know we could have gone all day with it. We really could have, but for time and purposes, for everything.
Yeah, because we pretend to have
unlimited time.
Yeah, unlimited time and active social lives, but in reality, we're both gonna go home and slam some Mountain Dew, masturbate, and play some Halo. But just kidding. But no,
he says he's kidding, but I'm just kidding. No, but if you'd like for us to talk more about Halo, let us know, and I'll tell you how to let us know, because I also want you guys to do one of two things. Actually, both things would be great. We have ourselves a Twitter, Instagram, our website, and of course YouTube. Nice thing about this, and I promise you, I won't be one of those YouTube guys that is like, oh, make sure you do this. That's why we never do it at the beginning of the video. I hate when people do that at the beginning of the videos on YouTube. What I mean is hit the like and subscribe. No, please. Like, if you liked it, hit the thumbs up on YouTube. If you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe if you want to keep updated with when we release these episodes. If you don't want to, it's fine, guys. Like, we're not in it for the money. We're in it to do it because we love doing this.
We still love you guys. Even if you hate us, I still love you.
We will be updating these. We're going to be very consistent with it. We promise you that. And if my co-host here at any point in time is not with me, I will be here to soothe your interest, hopefully.
All right, boys.
Check us out.
I need you to follow us.
Yes.
At Broken Spectrum. That's our Twitter, our Instagram, our WordPress, our YouTube, and... Oh, my bad. Correction. Our social media. Broken Spectrum, with a Z.
With a Z. There's a Z on the end just because, for when you're making stuff up, it helps when you're there.
Right. Broken Spectrum Z at Twitter, Instagram, WordPress, YouTube, and you guys can get connected with me on Xbox Live, PlayStation Network, and my Instagram with Discount Outlaw. That is lowercase discount, all uppercase Outlaw. On Instagram, you can look at all my motorcycles that I've purchased because I'm an irresponsible buyer. You can hit me up and trash me for my trashy podcast skills and for my opinion about Halo 4 being the best. Oh well, I'll still love you. And you just hit that up. You can play games with me, and you can just get connected with me, man. I'm not afraid. So hit us up.
We'll have a lot of links in the description, but for our YouTube channel, if you're hearing this on anywhere else but YouTube, our channel is going to be The Broken Spectrum, and that's a capital T, B, and S. Those three letters, but all one word. And that's The Broken Spectrum, capital T, B, and S. With that, And on as far as where you can follow me, I'm Zach, and you can follow me on Xbox at, and I know this is an unpopular thing in the online community, but bear with me because it was the only thing available at the time, is follow me at Xbox at xxarbiterxx, which is lowercase x, capital X, space, capital A, arbiter, ARBITURE, capital X, lowercase x. There's no underscores or anywhere in there, but that's how you can find me if you're interested. And we'll have that link down in the description for you. We'll have our names down there in case you want to forget how to spell it, because Lord knows that was very long-winded on me. I apologize.
And let us know, like, if you guys like find this content awesome and you guys want, like, to connect with us, like, literally, like, just add us on Xbox or whatever.
Absolutely.
You can, if you have trouble finding him, add me, because mine is a little bit more direct, and then
we're connected no matter what.
Yeah, and so, like, just literally hit us with emails or stuff like that, or actually just hit us with
you can hit us. You can actually hit us with emails
email
at Broken Spectrums
with a Z
.com, or no, I'm sorry, it's Broken Spectrums with a Z at gmail.com if you want to send any email or anything towards us. Also, let us know in the comments below if you're watching this on YouTube or on any of the Twitter or Instagram pages for him or myself.
Yeah, blow it up so we know what service you guys prefer. Do you guys want it on YouTube? Do you guys want us to eventually move to Apple Podcasts when we can and stuff like that?
Anything,
or iTunes.
Anything.
Yeah, just hit us up. Let us know what's more effective for you guys, and we'll get it out. If you guys want it on Spotify, we'll get it on Spotify.
This is a lot. Easy there, buddy. Don't you're getting lost. Take a breath. But to wrap it up, though, seriously though, to seriously wrap it up, if you for our subject on Halo today, along with everything that we threw at you with all of our social media sites that you can check us out on, we're very open-ended about this. If you also want to connect with us in any other way, or if you want to tell us what your favorite Halo game is, please let us know. Comments below, or even in our Twitter or Josh's Instagram. I do not have one.
Yeah. For
obvious reasons. But
let
anyway.
us know if you guys want to do like fan plays or whatever. Like where we play games with the fans that we don't have yet. But if you guys are a fan now after this podcast,
absolutely.
But yeah, we'll jump on, man. We are not afraid to play video games because that's all we talk about. And
with that being said, thank you all for joining us. This is Zach
and Josh,
and this is the Broken Spectrum.
Bye.
Bye. Also, a huge thanks to TCC Emerald, our technical guy that helps us get these podcasts ready for deployment. We really appreciate all the help. That's TCC Emerald. You can find him on YouTube or go to his Twitch and see what he's doing on there. Thank you very much.